American workers and American farmers in a clean energy future. Skilled workers, like one we just heard from, building a nationwide network of 500,000 charging stations, creating good-paying jobs by leading the world in the manufacturing and export of clean electric cars and trucks. We're going to provide tax incentives and point-of-sale rebates to help all American families afford clean vehicles of the future. The federal government owns an enormous fleet of vehicles, which are going to be transitioned to clean electric vehicles and hydrogen vehicles right here in the United States of America, by American workers, with American products.
Welcome back, friends, for one more update from the world of EV stocks. In case you're new to this channel, please do consider subscribing. And if you live in the United States, you can get 2 free shares worth up to $1,850 just by following the link in the description. Now enjoy the rest of the video.
Joe Biden just announced the most aggressive plan from the United States to move to clean energy vehicles. The newly announced policies will see direct boost to sales of electric vehicles, as well as a very quick expansion of the charging infrastructure across the U.S. The announcements have just injected fresh force into various stocks from the EV sector. It's applying to the Chinese EV companies listed on NASDAQ as well. And such is the timing of things, that NIO and XPeng also happened to announce their spectacular March vehicle delivery numbers just today.
Look, I really think that when you take a look at what the president said was one of the biggest challenges, climate change, and then basically blunting China. And when I spoke to Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo, she said the same thing. We need to blunt China. We need to get more competitive. Hence why they're putting some money toward semiconductors. But this would be just it's $50 billion, very minor part, versus so much that's dedicated not to highways, but to EV, to electric vehicles. And a lot of that, Carl, it is kind of shocking. 2% of new cars are EV, 1% of all vehicles. We are really behind a lot of countries, and I think that this could, I was saying to the secretary, don't we have enough companies that are doing SPACs in EV? But it looks like we don't. We're not doing that well. And so a lot of the companies that are in that chart, including QuantumScape, which just really met a fantastic milestone with Volkswagen, are very interesting. Romeo Power missed quarter really badly, so I'm not going to count on them. Nikola missed quarter very badly. Lordstown, God, that's actually, well, 3 out of 5 missed the quarter badly. Yeah. But you know what? Maybe, wow, that was stunning. But I do think that that EV is really important because we are very far behind other countries.
There's some headlines this morning about the White House asking the EPA to look into credit policy to see what kinds of credits might be generated by some of this. And this is what the Commerce Secretary told Jim last night on Mad Money.
This is about outcompeting China. We need to invest in America, invest in American manufacturing capacity, invest in American workers and skill, get back into the business of investing in basic research where we have fallen behind. If we act now, we can't dilly-dally. Let's take action. We will compete with China.
Jim, you mentioned capacity spending on semis. Already, Taiwan Semi's out today saying they're going to spend $100 billion over 3 years. We know what Intel's spending, about 20. Samsung's another $100 billion. And then, Micron last night talking about a relatively bullish forecast, and we'll get to some of the target increases. But Taiwan Semi's been running 100% for about 12 months.
They have to. Micron was, I felt very, let's say, circumspect about being able to find more capacity. I know that they're interested in a Japanese company that makes NAND, makes flash. The first time we heard that flash could be in short supply. We know DRAMs are in short supply, hence one of the reasons Micron's up. You know, it all comes back to Lam Research, and it comes back to KLA Tencor. It comes back to Applied Materials. We don't have enough companies. Those are all American companies. We own the IP. Secretary Raimondo does not want the IP to go to China. But I would point out that the president starts out with the interstate highway. And President Eisenhower got the interstate highway through because we needed missiles to be able to go from one place to another because of the Russians. And I find it's almost like you could substitute what President Eisenhower said and put about Russia and put in China. I mean, this is there are a lot of people who felt that President Trump, Peter Navarro, were tough on China. This is much tougher. This is really basically saying, look, we got to be better than China, and that's what we're going to be. The President Trump wanted to have more spending here. That's not what they're talking about. I mean, this is Cold War chatter. I want to say chatter, not point blank, but right at the same time, you had the CEO of Boeing go to the Chamber of Commerce and say, we need these orders from China. So, I mean, business doesn't like this, but boy, President Biden is very, very tough on China. I thought that CEO Calhoun was really kind of saying, geez, we're going down the wrong path here.
Though Biden's domestic moves don't yet directly impact NIO as a company, at least not until NIO starts selling their cars in US as well, we believe if the trend of bullishness returns strongly to EV stocks, that will play out really nicely for the NIO stock as well. Coming back to NIO's March delivery numbers now. NIO made a new history today. NIO announced that they delivered 7,257 vehicles in March 2021, which is an increase of 373% year-over-year from March 2020. As a result, NIO delivered a total of 20,060 vehicles in the 3 months ended March 2021, which is an increase of 423% year-over-year from the Q1 of 2020. Crossing 20,000 vehicle deliveries for one quarter is a historic first for NIO. We also need to remember here that Q1 is usually a slow quarter, and on top of that, NIO also had some production disruptions due to chip shortage. This just once again underlines how strongly the demand of NIO's vehicles are actually growing in China. With 20,000 deliveries in Q1 itself, we believe NIO is easily on its way to delivering 100,000 vehicles for the whole year of 2021. Things are indeed looking quite nice for NIO as far as we are concerned. Let us know in the comments what you think about NIO's prospects in 2021 and 2022. Thanks for tuning in to this update. If you like watching content like this, make sure to like and subscribe. And please don't forget, if you live in the United States, you can get 2 free shares worth up to $1,850 by signing up using the link in the description, after you deposit just $100. Until next time.